And welcome back. Today we're going to be flying out the F-104G for Italy, and if you are wondering what the difference is between this one as well as the German one, other than loadouts and maybe a little bit of the matchmaking, they are the same plane. So if you are running them in their optimal air-to-air loadout, which will be the two AIM-9Js, then these two planes are very much the same. Other than the skin of course, and a little bit of matchmaking, because Italy is mostly facing Germany, funnily enough. But how do you fly this thing? Well, it's an F-104, you go fast, you try to not turn as much as you can. Very straightforward top tier gameplay. If you get people on your 6 and they can catch you, you are going to be in a problem and you are going to need help from your team. If you cannot run away from people, if you cannot out accelerate them after like bleeding their speed, then you are just gonna struggle in this thing. More so than in most top tier planes. But if you have flown an F-104 and you're thinking, well, maybe I can alleviate that problem with my roll rate or my snappiness and stuff like that. At higher speeds, yeah, but the second you start going below that, I think it's like 1000, 1100 mark, this thing turns into an absolute shit brick. And that's okay. This plane at 10.3 right now is still insanely good. It's not quite an SMT, but the SMT doesn't deserve to be there. And the flares make the F-104 so much more enjoyable, because it's very hard to dodge missiles in this thing if you don't have any speed, and the flares come in pretty clutch with that. At higher speeds without flares you can of course snap roll. What you do is you wait for the missile to come pretty close and then you just start rolling, you start pulling, and mostly you will dodge the missile, as long as it's not something like a magic, because those don't really care. But even magics you can dodge in the F-104, granted you are going very fast. But of course optimally you just want to outrun the missile, you just want to bleed the missile of the energy and get the hell out of there, because you don't want to be dodging missiles in the F-104. And the main reason for that is you can do it once, you bleed all your speed, second missile comes in, you are gonna die. Flying this thing stock is an absolute pain in the ass, because this plane relies on the flares as well as the engine power to really do anything, and when you are stock you have neither. What you do have, however, is a Vulcan you can very nicely miss with, just like we did right there. And the Vulcan really carries this thing when it's stock, and even when you spade it, the Vulcan is just insanely strong, as I said before. It is on every plane that has it, but with this thing it's a little bit of a saving grace. But flying it stock is not how you are gonna fly it for the majority of the time, so I'm not gonna be, well, referencing stock performance more than this. But for the gameplay, because that's what you're here for, the MiG-21 shoots a missile at us, and it's an R60. We have a lot of speed, we have a lot of distance, so we can just kind of zigzag left and right, try to keep him as straight as we can. We outrun the missile, we keep him nice and straight. Razor nicely digs him down with an AIM-9D. He gets a shot at by the MiG-21, dodge the R60 with some flares, and now it's a matter of who do I go for. The MiG-21 is flying kind of perpendicular, he's not really coming towards us. The Su-7 is, so we are gonna switch targets to him. I do want to keep mind on that MiG-21, because I don't want him to drop on behind me. I don't really enjoy having a MiG-21 on my 6 when I'm flying the F-104. Although Su-7 is still turning ahead of me, the MiG-21 above us is still flying away from us, so I shoot a missile at the Su-7, get him out of the match as quickly as we can, and we will continue on to the MiG-21S that's now trying to dogfight the F-104. And I'm on his 6 now. He's bleeding a lot of speed here, trying to follow the F-104, so he's becoming a prime target here, very easy to kill. Unfortunately, he manages to kill the F-104A, which is kind of funny considering, well, it's an R3. Unfortunate to get hit by that, but it is what it is. So we shoot a few rounds at the MiG-21, we crit him. I now know that he doesn't really have short range missiles that can really touch me, so I don't really care. I get in front of him. I'll just flare here and there, just to be sure. As long as I keep going left and right and don't fly straight, those missiles are never gonna hit me. Su-7 dodges the gun. And the MiG-21 that's crit is not having the best of time here. He is going very slow. He's basically stalled out at this point. And I just tell the Razor, I'll finish the MiG-21. You can go for the Su-7. And this way we will both get a kill. I'll kill what I already crit. The F-4C is ground pounding his heart out on the deck. And this guy is essentially just falling out of the air. Look at this guy, probably crit his engine. He's not doing very great. So we just spray him down. I have all the ammo in the world that I need. And I still have 127 left. Now it's 3v1. Of course the F-4C is still ground pounding his heart out. All power to him, he does not care whatsoever about what's going on around him, and we are gonna try to run the SU-7 down because he is clearly trying to run back to base. And looking at my speed as well as his speed, he's probably gonna make it, and you can tell here I'm trying to tap fire, he's paying attention, he's dodging, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay a blanket down, I'm gonna hold the trigger down because I have to break off in a second here. So he's gonna get pretty close, waiting for him to go in a certain direction. And I'm just gonna spray, I'm gonna hold the trigger down and I'm gonna wait for him to fly into it. There you go. Down he goes. Kill number 5, end of the game, and we are out of here. And here we are on the city map. Everyone gets an air spawn, so this makes it kind of annoying. But luckily a lot of the planes that you face right now also lost their air spawn. So this is how most of your matches are gonna look like anyway. Except, well, I'm just not a fan of city. I don't like air spawn maps at top tier. They make the matches go way too quick. You reach the middle of the match in like 30 seconds. And everyone just slams their head into the head-on. And you'll fight one guy at like 20 kilometers altitude because he was too scared to go in. He's role-playing like a real-life pilot. And he's gonna come down when it's 1v8, kill one guy and then slam him to the ground. And then complain about his team not doing anything. You know how it works. It's very common. It's very annoying. But I'm really glad that Gaijin finally decided to change the airspawn mechanic at top tier. At least in normal circumstances. Where you don't get 3 Brazilian planes with an airspawn that top down you like that Harrier right above us. It's so damn annoying, and we finally have a little bit more of a level playing field. SU-22 is absolutely dead now. It was already a pretty bad plane, but now without the airspawn the SU-22 has literally nothing going for it. Just fly the SU-17. I might make a video on the SU-22, and if I do it's probably gonna be on April Fools, and if that doesn't tell you everything, well, it should tell you everything. J-35A at a little bit of altitude, and I have AIM-9Js. Well, I got bad news for you. No flares, a lot of speed bleed, and he doesn't even see the missile. So he catches that one, and we continue on to the T2, and you can tell that I'm trying to find the secluded people. I'm going for the guys that are kind of in our territory. I'm trying to engulf my own plane with friendlies. This way the enemy always has someone else to go for. I have someone to fall back on, because you don't want to fly this thing alone all the way as a spearhead of your team. You're going to get singled out very quickly and you are going to die very easily. And of course if you get up tier to something like an MLD, well, you are just gonna die. That's just how it is. But if you have the opportunity, try to stay with your team. Don't try to go in there on your own on their side of the map where there's like 6 or 7 enemies. I'd rather just take it slow. I see a T2 on my own, I go for him. I see the J35 kind of on our side of the map, I go for him. This way, if you ever make a mistake, if you ever get someone on you, you are still pretty hard to kill with the flares. You are very rolly, you are very squirrely. You don't turn the best, but you can stay outside of someone's guns for a pretty long time. And the flares make it so that missiles don't have very big potency versus you as well. So you can stay alive for a pretty long time. And if you have the teammates around you, they don't need to fly 20 kilometers to get to you. It's very likely you are gonna survive that engagement. We pull in pretty late on the head-on there with the MiG-21. He has a GSH-23, not very worried about that. Of course I don't want to full commit him, so what I do is I just keep turning, I hold the trigger down for a little bit, kind of spray a line over him. We didn't manage to hit him. And now we are just gonna run him back to base. Because our team is still fighting with the 2 of them on their side of the map. They got 3 guys left and we are now running them down towards their side of the map, and we are gonna give them some support. And at this point we're gonna outnumber them, because we took the right engagements and the enemy team did not. But at this point it's basically a matter of cleaning them up. We go head on with an SU-7, we manage to crit him and head on, we make sure that we don't die. He almost actually manages to hit us as he's basically spazzing out because of the crit. Would be very unlucky, but it is what it is. The MiG-21 of course turns around the second he manages to get in AA range and sees that we turn around, because AA is a very good mechanic, and everyone that disagrees with that is of course a tryhard or wants to kill, well, helpless planes. Little bit hypercritical, don't you think? But for now we are just gonna fly away here. We have the numbers to do this, and I'm just gonna dogfight the MiG-21. Is this a good idea? Definitely not. But if he takes this dogfight, he's gonna bleed at all the speed, and my team can easily come in and swoop him down. It's the MiG-21S, so I'm not exactly worried of him, because he doesn't have good missiles that he can actually use at closer ranges. He only has the R3s, as I mentioned earlier. And I'm going vertical here, and he's doing a horizontal turn. Razor is also coming in, and the second he starts maneuvering here to get out of his guns, well, he's most likely going to eat this missile. He's probably not going to pay attention to me, because I came from a very odd angle. And just as predicted, he flies right into it. He gets crit, he doesn't actually die from it, but at this point he is not going to do very well, and I'm just going to cut my throttle. I'm going to sit on his ass, and I'm just going to spray all my 400 rounds of 20mm at him, if possible. But of course he does the thing that MiG-21s do very well when they're slow, and they just pull AOA out the ass. He kind of rolls around with a little bit of latency mixed in, and I'm not hitting that. I'm sorry, but I can't. But right now he's going extremely slow. I probably killed his engine or something. I can just come back down from the top. I'm not running the afterburner to not go too fast. We managed to get another hit in, and he should go into the ground pretty quickly here. There he goes. And for more filler content before we go into the carry, MiG-21 here, we just dove from orbit, we dive on him, we gun him down. It's an SMT, probably the highest priority target you can find at your own BR. Of course, something like an MLD will still eat your ass 5 times as hard, but you won't be seeing those every game, at least luckily. And for now, who do I want to go for? We have a MiG-23 on our 6. It's an MF, I can tell by the German flag. And I just outrun the missile, way too far away. Not sure why he even tried to shoot that, but he probably bought this thing and is a level 20. He shoots another missile at someone. J-35 here is getting absolutely triple teamed, and I'm doing the same thing as I mentioned before, while I try to go for the targets that are already kind of engaged and already kind of busy. We get a hit in. It's a J-35, so he's pretty slow. The F-4J is just spraying, doesn't actually hit anything, and I'm just gonna loop around. I keep the afterburner on this time because I want to keep some of the energy here, since, well, we are not the last 2 guys alive. I have plenty of separation, and this guy is essentially stalled out. I already got a hit on him, not sure what the rest of the team did, but I reckon that the F-4J at least hit him somewhat, and he's too slow to do anything, so I'm just going to shoot a missile at him so I can switch targets to the Viggen over there. The Viggen pulls in, so I can't really do anything against it, but at least we pulled in a little bit, so he didn't get a free shot on us. He gets a missile shot at him from Razor. Missile misses because it's a heat seeker and he has more than 2 flares. So we just shoot a Vulcan at his angle, no use to shoot a missile. We managed to set him on fire, and that's gonna be that. Game done, game set, on to the next one. And here we are gonna be doing a little bit of a carry. I've been in the air for about 10 to 12 minutes here. I've done absolutely nothing. I have shot about 100 rounds, I haven't shot my missiles off. I'm not actually going to show you this because it's not a matter of me missing, it's just a matter of the enemy were not giving me any opportunities to get any kills in. The only thing I've been doing was staying alive in a very boring manner. So we are RTB at this point, MiG-21 coming in from their side of the map, and because I'm RTB anyway, I'm just going to shoot my entire load at him, straight into his mouth, hope he swallowed it. We go back, we land, we rearm, we refuel. We take back off, and at this point it's about a 3v6 I believe. Maybe 4, we have 2 F-105s, we have an AV-8, and the AV-8 here is going in on his own. And he is contesting the Jaguar that's going back to base, and they still have a lot of friendlies alive. So if we are gonna start chasing him down, well, we are both probably going to die. So I'd rather actually go for the Mirage here, because he has 2 of the Magics. And I'm not sure if he has them on at the moment, but I don't want to risk it, because 50% of my team does not have flares, and he has 2 missiles that are plenty to do exactly that. And I don't want him to just free kill the 2 F-105s, because that's gonna put me in a very bad spot. It's a 3C as well, so I can go head on with him, I can loop over, and as long as he's not really paying attention, and he's just flying straight, he's trying to keep his speed high, I can drop back down on him, and I'm gonna shoot an AIM-9J at him. I'm using the AV-8 as bait at the moment, which is a bit of a dick move, but I was thinking I could kill this Mirage real quick, turn around and start helping the AV-8 out again. Unfortunately, I don't care XDDD over here beat me to him just a little bit too quick. So we go head on with him, and I want him dead for the same reasons as I want the AV-8 dead. He just killed the AV-8 with his gun, so that means he didn't use his missiles, and because he didn't use his missiles, well, he still has 2. And now he can kill 66% with both of those 2 missiles. The F-105 is not going to be dodging a magic if he's running those. It's simply not going to happen. The Jaguars are not that much of an issue. One of them is the Jaguar A, which also has magics. So at this point I'm really just trying to do my absolute damn hardest to kill the guys that can very easily kill the F-105s. Basically anything can, but at least the F-105 can run away from almost everything except for a magic. So I'm gonna kill everything with magics. Makes sense, right? So I'm running down the A5 here, and he's gonna compress a little bit. So I'm just gonna stick on him, and I'm kind of hoping he's just gonna turn straight. He doesn't have the best roll, and he's either gonna rip his wings off, or he's just gonna fly straight ahead of me. Either or is fine. So I'm just gonna be spraying at him. I'm trying to get a hit in. I'm trying to make him scared. He starts air braking, and then he blows his wings off. If he hadn't blown his wings off right there, I would have been in a bit of a problem, because the Jaguar is right here. But I'm going head on with him. We managed to shoot a few rounds at him. We don't manage to hit him. And we are just gonna go straight up. It's a Jaguar A, which means that he has the magics, but I actually have flares. And this is why the flares on the F-104 are so damn helpful. Because I can just turn my afterburner off. I know he's gonna shoot one at me. I already know it's gonna happen. And if I was any F-104, I couldn't have done this. But because I am this F-104, I can. I go kind of horizontal turn here, I turn the afterburner off, I flare him pretty hard, and there comes the F-105. I'm just stalling this guy out. And even though it's only an AIM-9E, well, when you're so busy trying to look up at me, you're probably not going to be noticing a missile that you can flare with a single press of the button that's coming right from behind. Thank you very much, V-Gear. On to the next one. Harrier coming in, and at this point I'm pretty sure it's the Harrier GL1, which is why I'm just gonna run straight down to the deck, because he has no ability to kill me beyond a kilometer. And even if he gets closer than that, SRAMs, well, guess what? If I pop one flare, they go absolutely ballistic. SRAMs are very susceptible to flares, more so than any other missile. They have been, and then the flares got buffed. If there's a flare anywhere on the map and you're using SRAMs, well, I can assure you that that missile is not going to hit anything. So I'm just going to fly straight here, and I'm just waiting for the Harrier to break off because of the F-105 that's on his 6. And because he doesn't have any flares, I can just turn around and instantly missile him. Luckily, V-Gear actually kills another guy. He manages to Vulcan him down, and at this point the match is looking a lot more bright. We have an Su-7 over there, we have a MiG-21 somewhere on the map, and then I'm not sure what else is left. He is somewhere, I believe. I'm not sure if there is a third guy. Yes, there is. And I think it's another Su-7. But at this point, I'm not completely sure. I was so busy this entire match with trying to stay alive that I wasn't really paying attention to who stayed alive at the end of it and who didn't. So I'm going in a little bit blind. I know one of them is an Su-7. I knew that the Harrier over there was somewhere on the map. And I knew that the MiG-21 is somewhere on the map. We managed to get a hit in. Kind of unlucky. Wish that I had taken him down. But alas, it did not. He pulls back in. We pull back in. We shoot way too high. Not even sure why I squeezed the trigger there looking at the recording. But there is the MiG-21. And he's definitely going to take priority here, because this Su-7 is not going to be a big deal. So he just dodges rounds. And then we continue on for the MiG-21. The Su-7 is going extremely slow now. We go head on with the MiG-21. He does not want to take it. And he shouldn't have, so that's a good thing on him. But the Su-7 actually decides to chase me, making it so that I can't actually put more pressure on the MiG-21. So I'm just gonna stay a little bit fast here, and I'm gonna hope that the other F-105 is gonna come in and help me. But I'm trying to keep him on this side of the map. And for now, MiG-21 is behind the mountain, so I'm gonna dip down a little bit. I'm gonna use these mountains for cover, and then pop out last second and try to get a shot in. He does the exact same thing as I do. And he manages to see me before I see him. So I'm not going to take that head on. I would be at a disadvantage even though I have the Vulcan. But now I can go up here and I can start trapping this guy and bleeding him out of energy. If he tries to follow this, he will not get the kill on me. Unfortunately, we get a Jaguar that comes in at the exact time he should have come in. Maybe it should have been 5 or 10 seconds later. I don't know which Jaguar it is. It is a Jaguar A. Which for this very scenario is actually a good thing. Because if he tries to shoot missiles at me, magics are easier to flare than AIM-9Gs. Funnily enough. If of course he had gone for the F-105, I'd rather had it be a GL1. Because the AIM-9Gs are easier to dodge in that sense. But he goes for me. I was expecting him to shoot those missiles off. Magic 1 has been defeated, so he can only missile one of us now. The MiG-21 doesn't really have the missiles to take us down as long as we stay relatively low, and the F-105, absolute godsend, actually says follow me. He has bombs on, I know, because one of my teammates is talking to me in the chat and he's spectating him. He actually did drop those bombs, so thank you for listening, and we are gonna start this little 2v1. Su-7 will be out for a little bit here, so we can actually make this a little bit of a smaller team fight. Who do I want to kill first here? The MiG-21. Actually, even though the Jaguar is a higher threat at this moment, the MiG-21 doesn't have any flares. And the second I see him go vertical, you can catch these hands. AIM-9J out, he is way too slow. He collects the missile. And he crits the Jaguar. Absolutely perfect. I ask if he's dead. Doesn't look to be dead, and I don't want to steal it. But I also want to make sure that he dies. And he stays on the 6 of the F-105, and I'm kind of worried about this. So am I going to steal it? No, but he looks to be somewhat okay. So at this point I don't really know what to do. He is going very slow, and I'm not sure what the F-105 is doing. So I'm just going to try to give this guy a little bit of a love tap in the hope that he gets the kill. He's going very slow, but he's still very much operational. So I managed to shoot a few rounds in. I get another crit. Now he is completely dead. And the F-105 can of course collect that kill. He deserves that one, but I didn't want him to get back to base. I wasn't sure what the F-105 was doing. He finally decides to turn back around. I see that he does, and I just tell him that is all his. And now we're gonna go and kill the guy, the Su-7 that we managed to hit before, that landed. And we just need to make sure that we kill him before the timer runs out. But we have the ticket advantage anyway, and we do manage to win this game in the end. All we have to do now is kind of fly in there and just make fuck.